Okay, so today's webinar is designed to share with our employer group BAs some information that's going to be really helpful for you for our go live launch of the Benefits 24/7 application. So we do want to say right up front that this is not a training webinar on how to use Benefits 24/7, but we will be sharing some resources at the end of the webinar that will go ahead and point you on how to learn about the different functionalities of the system. So before we get started, my name is Debbie Crumples, and I am here today with my teammate, Larry Cade.
Good morning, everybody.
Thanks, Larry. And here's what we are going to cover today. So we're going to go ahead and give out some reminders on getting logged into Benefits 24/7 on how to do that. We're going to cover how to access the different employers for BAs who have access to more than one employer. We're going to give you some things to do before our go live date, as well as some things to review and do on our actual go live date, and then again after the go live date. We're going to cover some other information that should be helpful to you from a benefits administrator perspective. We'll give you some resources that can help you as well as your employees if you run into any issues related to the program once we do go live. And this will include a section on troubleshooting login issues for your employees. And then finally, we're going to open it up to your questions and answer them during the time that is allotted for today's webinar. Okay, so it really is real this time that Benefits 24/7 will be going live on January the 16th. And that just means that Benefits 24/7 is going to be replacing a PEBB My Account. So your employees are no longer going to be able to access their PEBB My Account. So beginning January 16th, when they go out to the PEBB employee website, it's going to be this Benefits 24/7 logo that's now going to show up where they're used to seeing the PEBB My Account button. And for RBAs who currently key into or have access to the Pay One system, then just know that the last day that you're going to have access to the system will be Friday, January the 12th until 6:00 p.m. And because Benefits 24/7 will not go live until the 16th, that just means that there will be a temporary pause in your ability to do benefits administration functions. However, just know that your employees' benefits will continue on an uninterrupted basis, because remember, they're not going to be making new benefit elections. Their current elections and enrollments are going to migrate to the Benefits 24/7 application. And if you are wondering what happens to Pay One after January the 16th, well, it will continue to be a part of our insurance system, because the data that's maintained in Pay One is what we use for billing purposes, and it's also where we get the information to send to the different insurance carriers so that they have accurate enrollment and address information for your employees and their enrolled dependents. However, it's only going to be HCA staff that will have access to Pay One once Benefits 24/7 goes live, because everything that you're going to need as a BA is now going to be in Benefits 24/7. So just keep in mind that when you or your employees are making changes in Benefits 24/7, then those changes are going to update to the Pay One system, and then that's how the Pay One system will remain current. Okay, so now we're going to go over some reminders about getting logged into Benefits 24/7 as a BA. So first, like we shared in our training videos, Chrome is going to be the preferred web browser when you're going to log into the system. And then here is the link to the live Benefits 24/7 login page. But we would like to say that this link will not work until the actual go live date. And like your employees, when you are on the PEBB website, and if you are a BA who currently has access into Pay One, then you're going to be used to accessing PEBB My Account either at the bottom of the main BA webpage by clicking on that PEBB My Account icon in the blue navigation bar, or on the green PEBB My Account button. But once our system goes live on the 16th, then all of you, so that does include all of our BAs, whether you had access into Pay One or not, will see the Benefits 24/7 logo in the same places that you're used to seeing the PEBB My Account icons now. So you will be able to access Benefits 24/7 from one of these quick links, or you can use the URL that is on this slide. And because you are a BA from one of our employer groups, you're going to be accessing the Benefits 24/7 application through the top button on the main Benefits 24/7 login screen, which is then going to take you out to the SAW page for additional security authentication. So remember that the SAW page is going to be a live SAW environment. So if you already have a SAW account that's attached to your work email, then you can log in using that same SAW sign-in information. But here's something that you need to be aware of. So if you created a SAW account in the Benefits 24/7 training environment using your work email, then once you're in the live Benefits 24/7 app, this is also going to take you to the live SAW environment, and then the SAW sign-in information that you use to sign into the training environment will only work if it's the same sign-in information that you also had when you set up your live work email SAW account. So I know that gets a little bit confusing, but we did get questions. Could you use the same sign-ins from the training environment in the live? And it would only be if it's the same exact credentials. So if you don't have a live SAW account that's attached to your work email, then just like in the training environment, you can go ahead and sign up for your live SAW account and just be sure to use your work email. And then that's going to be the one that you guys or somebody from your organization provided to us to give you your access in the live Benefits 24/7 system. Because remember, it's the email address that you guys gave to us is what we've entered into Benefits 24/7, and your SAW account email has to perfectly match the email that's in Benefits 24/7 in order for you to be able to access the features that are going to be available to you and that you'll need as a benefits administrator. Also, if you do need to create a SAW account with your work email, please be sure that you're creating that live SAW account once you've gone into the Benefits 24/7 login, because this is where we get a lot of confusion. So when people try to log into SAW and get an error message saying that the SAW system doesn't recognize their login information, well, then that's when they go out to the statewide SAW webpage that is completely separate from the Benefits 24/7 site. And then they sign in using their SAW account login information. And then they try to add Benefits 24/7 as a service under the SAW account. And that's where they get frustrated because they can't find us as an option to add. And that's because this is not how to do it. So if this does happen to you, just know that that error message is telling you that you need to go ahead and sign up for a SAW account with your work email once you've logged into Benefits 24/7 from the login page. There could be one other reason that you might receive that error message when you're trying to get into the live SAW environment within the Benefits 24/7 application. And that would be if you're not using the correct username or password that is associated with your SAW account that's attached to your work email. And if that does end up being the case, you can troubleshoot that by clicking on the forgot username or forgot password or both of them. And it's going to send you an email reminding you what your username is or a link to go ahead and reset your password. We have received a lot of questions asking if Benefits 24/7, the training environment, will still be available to BAs after our go live date so that you can use it for testing and training purposes. The answer to that question for now is yes. Okay, so in this next section, I'm going to go ahead and cover how to access multiple employers for our BAs who have been assigned a BA role to more than one employer. So here is a screenshot of a BA's dashboard once they're logged into the Benefits 24/7 application. And as you can see, this BA is logged into the Department of Ecology. And here's where the BA who has multiple employer access has selected this specific employer. All they did was click on that drop-down box. But let's say that that BA needs to work with a different employer, then all they need to do is click the drop-down box, and then all of the employers that they have access to as a BA are going to come up. And in this example, the BA wants to work with South Puget Sound Community College. So all they have to do is click on that employer from the drop-down box. And then here's the BA's dashboard once they do that. And as you can see, they are now on the South Puget Sound Community College dashboard. So that is how BAs can work with the different employers that they're assigned to without having to log in and out of the application multiple times. So the next couple of slides are going to just contain some guidance on what we're going to highly encourage you to do prior to the go live date on January 16th. So between now and next Tuesday. So if you have not already done so, we really need you to please submit to HCA anybody that you want to have BA access to the Benefits 24/7 live environment. So we do know that a lot of you have already done this, so we would just like to say thank you for that. But there are still some employers who have not submitted any BA access information for once the system does go live. So to make these BA access requests, whoever your security authorized person is at your organization, all they need to do is sign into the HCA support portal. And once they have logged in, all they need to do is make a request. And then here's the screen that's going to come up for them. And most of you already are familiar with this portal, but if you are not your security authorizer, maybe you can help your security authorizer with this if they need assistance. But all they need to do is click on the public and school benefits administrators only option, which you are familiar with. And then this screen will come up and then they can select the benefits 24/7 security designation option. And then here's the screen that will come up next. So as you can see, I have already entered some of the information so that I can better explain it. So in the first box, the security designee would just click on PEBB from the drop-down box, and then they would select their organization also from the drop-down box. And then the HCA code will automatically populate based on which organization they selected. So just know that if you can't find your organization because maybe we don't have it listed the way that you think that we should have it listed, then you could go down to the HCA code box and type in your HCA code, and then the system would automatically populate your organization's name the way that we do have it listed in our system. Then they just need to click on the add option to go ahead and add the BA's information so that we can get them added to Benefits 24/7 before we go live. And once they're in the add feature, as you can see, the system is just going to ask for the BA's name, their work email, what level of access they're authorized for. And in this case, the BA was given admin access. Then they're just going to click on submit, and then that will get the ticket to us so we can get these folks entered. Also, your security designee can add BAs here with edit or read access using the same ticketing feature. And then we will add those BAs with those access levels as well before the go live date. And just know that until you receive further notice from us, this will continue to be the way that your security designee can request admin level access for additional BAs once we do go live. Okay, so let's say you sent us a request to add a BA with admin access, but now that employee has either left your organization or they no longer are in a BA role. Because I know when we sent this out, this was quite some time ago and the launch was postponed. So we have also had a lot of staffing turnovers within a lot of the agencies or organizations. So, people that you submitted before may not need to be in there now. So if that's the case, then we would like you to please send us a request again through this same process that you asked us to add them. And then that would be through the Benefits 24/7 option designation, security designation option. And just like the screen where you asked us to add them to give them BA access, you're going to tell us that you're a PEB employer. You're going to select your organization from the drop-down box, and then you're going to click on the option again to add a benefits administrator. And I know that add sounds kind of weird because we're asking you to remove it, but I'm going to show you on the next slide, like why you just have to say add. Because here's what's going to come up next. And this is where you're going to give us the BA's name that you need us to remove, and then their email address that you had provided to us to enter them into the Benefits 24/7 system. And then you're going to click on the remove option under the add or remove section. And then you're going to click add, which in this case is really telling us to remove the BA. So I know that's kind of funny language, and we have addressed that with our people at HCA. So it's that way now. It doesn't make sense, but that is how you would do it to remove it. And if we make changes to that, we will let you know. So then just know that once we get that, we'll go ahead and remove that BA with their admin access from the Benefits 24/7 live environment. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to some information about once we go live on January the 16th. So the first thing you're going to be doing on the go live date is to log into Benefits 24/7. So if you can get logged in, that is great. Yay, yay, because this is what's supposed to happen. And we do hope that it does for all of you. But to be very honest, we are anticipating that some of you are going to run into some problems. So we did want to provide some suggestions on how to troubleshoot that. So first, are you logging in using the correct login button? Because remember, state agency BAs are the only ones who can use this bottom button to log in. And all other BAs are going to need to use that top button to log in. So if you are using the correct button and you still can't get logged in, then the second question is going to be, are you using your SAW account that is registered with your work email address? And this is really important because if you're using a SAW account that's registered with any other email address, then remember, Benefits 24/7 is not going to recognize you because the email that we use to set you up in the Benefits 24/7 system has to perfectly match the email that you use to register your SAW account. And if you don't already have that SAW account, that's when you're going to register with your work email. And then all you have to do is once you get to the SAW page from the Benefits 24/7 login is to sign up using your work email address. We have covered that already in the previous slides. Okay, so once you know that you're logging in using your SAW account that is registered with your work email and you still can't get logged in, then we suggest that you check with whoever your security designee is to see if they submitted your name and email address to us to have you added as a BA with access. And if you don't know who your security designee is, then please go ahead and submit an HCA support ticket, letting us know what's happening, and we can try to identify who that person is so that you can work with them to get yourself added to the system once it goes live. Another thing that you'll want to do on the go live date is to go out to your manage access tile and check to be sure that the BAs that were submitted are there and that their work email addresses are correct and that the level of their authorized access is correct. So this is super important to remember that any BAs who were added to the training environment will not automatically come over as authorized BAs in the live environment. So it's really important to be sure that the employees that you want added are listed here on this under this tile. And if any of them are missing who need admin access, then your security designee is going to have to submit an HCA support ticket through that Benefits 24/7 security designation option to go ahead and have us at HCA add them and give them that admin access. And if you have any BAs who are missing, who should have edit or read access, then the BA who has admin access can go ahead and add these folks from this tile and go ahead and assign their access level. So you wouldn't have to reach out to HCA to do that. Those admins can do that for again, the edit or read access. So just keep in mind that if you are a BA with admin access, you can also remove BAs who are assigned with edit or read access, as well as remove any inactive BAs. However, if there are BAs with admin access who are listed on this tile, who are no longer employed by your organization or no longer in a BA role, please just be sure to submit a request through that HCA support portal to have us remove them like I covered earlier. Okay, another thing that we'd like for you to do on the go live day is to enter your employer contact information. And you can do this by going out to the organizational profile tile from your BA dashboard. And then at the bottom of that screen is where you're going to be able to go ahead and add any contact information. And just know that there will be no information already there because we do know that a lot of you have added this information in the training environment, just like I did in this example, but it won't come over on the go live date into the live Benefits 24/7 system. And then when you do go to add your employer contacts in the live environment, please just keep in mind that the contacts may be different than who your BAs are, and that would be absolutely okay. So as you can see, you can add contacts for a variety of functions, which are listed here on this slide, because we do know that not all BAs are the point of contact for all of those functions. So just give us the information on who to contact for those if it's different from you or if it's you that we need to be contacting. All you need to do is enter these folks' name, their work email address, and then their phone number. So just know that this part of the application is really for HCA use because we're going to use it to quickly identify who we should contact for these various benefits issues so that you hopefully aren't the person in there for everything and we're always contacting you. Okay, in the next section, we're going to cover some things as they relate to the after the go live date. So first, we do encourage you to log into benefits 24/7 on some regular basis. And we do leave that up to you to define what regular basis is going to be, right? Because you're going to know how many employees you're dealing with on some regular basis as it relates to their benefits. If you only deal with a small number of employees, then you might decide to log in maybe just a couple of weeks. But if you have a lot of employees that you're doing benefits administration for, we say just get in there on a daily basis. Because once we go live, remember that your employees will have the ability to add dependents to their coverage when they're newly eligible, or they will be adding or removing dependents due to some special open enrollment events. And then the only way that you would know about these is to be sure to check that dependent verification tile and the special enrollment event verification tile. Because as you know, this is where you're going to be able to quickly identify if you have any outstanding verifications that you're going to need to review and approve. And here is some other important information that's going to be helpful to you as you begin working with benefits 24/7 in the live environment. So I am not sure if we have any BAs with us today from Pierce County, but if we do, just know that your employees are going to have limited access in the Benefits 24/7 application. And that's just because your employees make their benefits elections and changes using the Workday application. But just know that they are going to have access to two of the tiles once they do log into the system. So first, they're going to be able to enroll in the PEBB retiree insurance program, and they'll also be able to enroll in PEBB continuation coverage, which includes coverage during an approved unpaid leave of absence and COBRA. So everything else, though, will still go through Workday for these employees. Here is something else to keep in mind, that even though Benefits 24/7 is a new application, the PEBB rules and policies are not changing. So that just means that newly eligible employees must still make their benefit elections within their 31-day eligibility window. Keep in mind that the sooner you get these newly eligible employees added to Benefits 24/7, then that's going to allow your employees to use the online enrollment system for the fullest amount of those 31 days. Also, employees must still submit SOE changes within 60 days of the date of the qualifying event. And then your employees who are adding dependents to their coverage, dependent verification is still required. So nothing changes there. Just know that your employees, though, can upload their dependent verification documents as well as proof of their special open enrollment events when they use the Benefits 24/7 employee online account. However, they are not required to upload them, right? Because they can still provide hard copies to you like they have in the past. Also, the current PEB billing processes will not be changing with the rollout of Benefits 24/7, but we have gone ahead and updated the accounting manuals that are located on the PEBBA website. So now they're going to include information about how, when you enter information into Benefits 24/7, that will impact your billings and when. So you can find these manuals at the link that we have provided at the bottom of this slide. Here are a few other things that you need to be aware of. So there will be some changes to the eligibility worksheets. So first, just know again that there will be no changes from a rules perspective. That's because with the implementation of Benefits 24/7, rules and policies are not impacted, like I mentioned earlier. However, there will be some language updates. So the first one is going to be that where you are used to seeing the word pay one, you're now going to see the words Benefits 24/7. And that's also going to apply to any of our new manuals that are posted on the PEBBA website. And then any guidance to your employees that is on the worksheet is now going to have language referring to benefits 24/7. And that will be in addition to paper enrollment change forms, which is not new because with the rollout of benefits 24/7, your employees are now going to be able to make their enrollment elections and changes online. However, they will still be able to use paper forms. Um, and something that I kind of just want to say here, we know in talking to a lot of BAs and different employers and organizations that you may or may not be encouraging your employees to use the system yet because maybe you want to learn it first. But we do want to make you aware that they will be able to access it, whether you want them to or not, because once they're in the system, all they have to do is put some certain credentials in and it's going to allow them access. So just kind of be aware if you don't want them to use it, you're really going to have to like verbally or somehow market them and make sure that you're just giving them paper forms until you're really ready for them to use it. And also just know that the changes that are being made to the worksheets are already made. So if you are using the worksheets before the go live date, just continue to do what you do now until then when the changes are going to make better sense. It's just that we have had so much to do to get ready for this rollout that we wanted to get those worksheets updated right away so that that would be a little bit behind us. This one is really important, so please be sure to update your employee salary information in Benefits 24/7 manually as your employees have salary changes throughout the year. Because remember, this is what determines the premium for their employee paid long-term disability. So before we go ahead and open it up to you for your questions, we do want to provide you with some resources for when you need help with Benefits 24/7. So as a benefits administrator, you can send us your questions through the HCA support portal. You are already familiar with selecting the public and school BAs only option and then the BA inquiry option. But we do want to bring something new to your attention, and that is that after you tell us you're a PEB employer, it's now going to ask if your inquiry is related to the Benefits 24/7 online enrollment system. And if you click yes for that, then it's going to offer you a drop-down box to tell us more specifically what your inquiry relates to. So the options that are going to be available there for you are letting us know if it's a login issue, or if it's a technical issue, or you just want to provide us with some suggestions or feedback about Benefits 24/7, or you would like to get some help by requesting some training. And if you say no to that inquiry that it's not related to Benefits 24/7, then no worries, because it's just going to allow you to choose from the options that you choose from now when you submit a ticket, minus the Benefits 24/7 option. And if you are submitting a request for training, then please be sure to provide us some specifics about what training you need in the details box. And this would include giving us some date and time options that we can choose from so that we can go ahead and get your training set up. And just know that we are happy to provide training in person or virtually based on your needs. So also be sure to let us know your preference in the details box. Also, for you as benefits administrators, there is information on administering PEB benefits and Benefits 24/7, and this is on the PEBBA website under the Administrative Tools and Resources section. Also, if you have emergent issues, you can contact our outreach and training team at the number that we have listed on this slide. But please, please, please keep in mind that if everyone calls us, for assistance with non-emergent issues, then that's really going to make us struggle in being able to process what the emergent issues are timely, right? So we are not defining emergent. We are allowing, you to define that for yourself. But please, if somebody's not going to get benefits when they need them, or again, I don't want to just limit what you can define that as, but just be cognizant if everybody calls, we will not be able to get to the emergent issues that need to be managed. Also on our PEBB website, there are manuals and resources for the Benefits 24/7 application. And these are posted in two places. So you'll be able to find them under the Forms and Publications page, also under the Administrative Tools and Resources page. You can always refer back to the Benefits 24/7 videos that are listed under the Training Resources page, and then under Training Materials and Recordings. And then finally, please be sure that you are registered for GovDelivery if you are not already, because this is how we will be sending notices or updates as they relate to Benefits 24/7. And finally, we will be hosting a post-launch webinar on Wednesday, January 31st from 10 to 11:30. And this is where we plan to address topics that we receive multiple questions about after the system has gone live as they relate to Benefits 24/7. So please, if you do run into issues with Benefits 24/7 once we go live, please be sure to send us a ticket through the HCA support portal, because this information is what we're going to be using to build the post-launch webinar. Also, just know that we won't be waiting until the webinar to go ahead and update you on the fixes, because we will be working to fix things as we receive your tickets. So you don't have to wait until this post-launch webinar for us to do that. To get back to you on the fixes, because we will be sending you messages through GovDelivery, letting you know like what an issue has been and what we've done to fix it. It's just that when we come back to the post-launch webinar is where we plan to share them with everybody. And for your employees when they need help with Benefits 24/7. So please refer them to the PEBB employee website. So when they click on the public employees option, under that section of the website, they're going to be able to find more help with and information about Benefits 24/7. So there will be a little bit of homework on their part, right? Just like it has been for you guys. So, the more familiar they get with things, the better they're going to be at using the system, hopefully before they come to you with a lot of questions. Also, the For Your Benefits newsletter that we mailed back in May last year did introduce your employees to Benefits 24/7, and we did provide some guidance on how to set up their personal account within the application, as well as we gave them some links to additional resources. We will be providing this once again when we send out the newsletter again in February. Back in June of last year, we did send a quick start guide to your employees. Again, that was just providing some easy to read information about how to get started in the Benefits 24/7 app. And we do plan to do that once again after the launch of Benefits 24/7. And this next one is for both you as a BA and your employees, that the enrollment guides are updated and they do reflect information about Benefits 24/7. So I did get a hard copy of the guide, and I just want to say that the instructions that are in there to help your employees is really good. So for your newly eligible employees, we do want you to know, order these, get these in your for your new employee orientations, hand them out. Let the people know, let your newly eligible employees know that that information is in the guide, so that hopefully they will do self-help when you guys are opening that up for your employees to be able to use that, hopefully to make sure that you have fewer questions. But finally, when your employees do get stuck and they can't, all of these resources have not helped them, just know that you as their benefits administrator are always going to be their main point of contact for help. So if you cannot answer their questions, then we ask you to please send us a ticket through the HCA support portal. We will get the answer, we will get it back to you, and then you can share that with your employees. Larry and I talked a little bit this morning that employees are being referred to him or people back at HCA, and that really is not our role. we do not like to do that. We like to make sure that our BAs are trained. And if you don't have an answer, we want to be able to get you the answer, because really your BAs are going to be coming to you. I mean, I'm sorry, your employees are going to be coming to you, not us. And the more information you learn about the system when you don't have the answers, coming to us and then us getting those back to you are going to get you trained as you need the information. Okay, so inevitably, you will at some point run into problems with your employees trying to log into the Benefits 24/7 system as a subscriber. So we're going to try to give you some troubleshooting resources to help you with that. So first, your employees or subscribers are going to need a SAW account in order to access their personal Benefits 24/7 account. So if they already have a SAW account that's attached to their personal email, then they can log in using that SAW sign-in information. But if they don't have a SAW account that is attached to a personal email, they can sign up for a SAW account and would just need to be sure to use their personal email address to do that. So we do get questions from the employee perspective. Is it okay to use my work email? And we say that's probably not a good idea, because what if they leave your agency, they go somewhere else, and they still are a PEB covered employee? That is really going to mess with them trying to get back into their Benefits 24/7 benefit account. So we say, please, 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 employee, subscriber, encourage them to use a personal email. Okay, so like we covered earlier, they would just need to sign up for their SAW account once they've logged into Benefits 24/7, not from that statewide SAW website. And just know that our employer group BAs definitely will have 2 SAW sign-ins, right? So one registered with your work email so that you can access the system as a BA to do BA functions. And then you are going to also need one with your personal email, because when the time comes and you need to make changes to your personal benefit elections, then you're going to do so as an employee or subscriber. So for the majority of your employees, this should get them into the Benefits 24/7 application. But if they're still having problems logging in, then here are some additional things that you can do to try to assist them. So first, just instruct them to clear their browsing history. And they can do this by holding down the Control-Shift-Delete buttons simultaneously when they're inside their Google Chrome. And then this would open their clear browsing data window, where they can select that all-time option from the time range drop-down menu, and then click on the clear data option that's at the bottom of that window. But let's say that you have an employee who has forgotten their SAW username. Well, then all they have to do, once they have clicked on the login button from the main Benefits 24/7 login page, where the system is going to automatically redirect them to the SAW webpage, is to click on the Forgot Your Username option. And then that's where they're going to be able to enter their email address, and then the SAW system will go ahead and send them an email with their username that is associated with that SAW account. If you have an employee who's forgotten their SAW password, then all they have to do once they've clicked on the login button from the main Benefits 24/7 login page, where again the system is automatically going to redirect them to the SAW web page, is to enter their username and then click on the Forgot Your Password option. And then it's going to allow the employee to enter their email address that's associated with their SAW account, and then the SAW system will email them some password reset instructions for that SAW account. Here is another troubleshooting item that you as a BA can do if any of this other stuff is not working. That's to be sure that the employee's information has been entered correctly in the Benefits 24/7 system to begin with. So this just means that you're going to want to be sure that you've entered the employee's last name, their date of birth, and their social security number correctly. And this also includes being sure that the employee's first and last name was not entered in Benefits 24/7 with any spaces before or after their name. And this is important because remember, this is the data that your employees are going to be using to log into their employee Benefits 24/7 account. And if any of the fields is not correct in Benefits 24/7, then the system is not going to recognize them, and therefore it won't let them access the system. So for your employees who will be transferring over or their information will be migrating over into benefits 24/7 on the go live date, this really shouldn't be an issue. However, it could be an issue for newly eligible employees that you enter into the system down the road. There could also be times when your employees try to log into benefits 24/7 and they're going to be prompted to answer their security questions. So just know that this is only going to happen if your employee logs into benefits 24/7 using one SAW account. And then later, like say during open enrollment months later, they try to log in using a different SAW account. Because remember, the SAW system is quite lovely. It allows employees to set up several SAW accounts, or anybody for that matter, to set up several SAW accounts. So people forget that they've done it, or they forget, which one to use. They might use one time and they're going to use another one time. That becomes problematic for the benefits 24/7. And that's because benefits 24/7 is sophisticated enough to recognize that they are not using the same SAW account to log in as they did when they first logged into benefits 24/7. So that's when the system's going to say, we don't really recognize you. So we're going to ask you to answer your security questions. So when they go to answer those security questions, if they are not lining up with what they had input when they created the account, that's when the system's going to say, nah, we don't recognize you. We're going to lock you out. So that's when the employee is going to come to you asking for help, and you're going to need to log into benefits 24/7 as a BA. You're going to need to search for that employee, click the box that's next to their name, and go ahead and manage their account. And then once you're in there, that's when you can click here on this option that is above those tabs to go ahead and release or unlock the employee's account. So then this would allow the employee to go back into benefits 24/7 and select new security questions for this account. So just know that we did cover a lot here. We wanted you to be able to see the troubleshooting items kind of more in a visual, but it is also located on the PEBB website in the PEBB Benefits 24/7 Manual, Chapter 2. Okay, so that covers our getting ready to go live with benefits 24/7 on the 16th. So now I'm going to check in with Larry to see how your questions are coming along and if there's anything that we can answer for you, because we do have about 30, 40 minutes to spend answering your questions. So Larry.
Hey, I was just looking up people for them, see who's covered. So that's all I've been answering here.
Okay,
so
I'm happy to start from the top then if there's anything. Is that okay then?
Of course.
Okay. All righty. So I will try to read the questions and answer them. So what is Gov delivery? So Gov delivery. So here's what I might do. We have a little bit of time. So I'm going to pull my screen up over here, and I'm going to go out to the Okay, great. Thanks, Lair. So here's our PEB Benefits Administrator website. Gov delivery is a way to get notices and updates from us, right? So at the bottom of that page in the blue navigation bar, if you click on that notices and updates, it's going to take you here, and you're going to be able to register for Gov delivery here. So I know most of our BAs probably know this, but I do want to be sure people do, because this is super important. Go in there, and when you register, you're going to use your work email, and then you're going to click submit, and you're going to tell us what kind of employer you are. So based on today's webinar, I'm assuming you are from an employer group. You're going to do that because this is how we tell you everything about PEB benefits, and especially right now with the rollout of benefits 24/7. Anytime we have fixes or corrections, right, we want to be able to share those with you. So please, please, please go in there and register. How can we request the quick start guide for new employees coming this year? I do know that they are going to be sending one out after the launch date. You as a BA should probably be getting a Gov delivery letting you know, and hopefully there will be a link that you will be able to get to so that you can download those, or at least be able to access them and have them in whatever format you need. Will the enrollment guides be available?
I got it.
Okay, I see, sorry. Are the enrollment guides requested through HCA support? Enrollment guides, if you want to order hard copies, are from the forms page.
Show how I get there.
Yeah, I'll do that. So back to the PEBBA website, right? At the bottom of the page is the forms and publications. When you click on that, you can order materials here. So this is when you order them, it's coming in hard copy, right? So you're going to go, oh, I'm going to abandon this one. Sorry, I was obviously trying to train somebody else how to do it. Just give it a second. Okay, so here's what the order form looks like. You go up under employees, under PEB, click on employees. And then right now, here are the ones that you can order. So here's the guide. If you wanted any enrollment forms, you could do that too. But the quantity that you can order is 50. If you don't want 50, please don't order 50. But if you need 50, that's great because you're a larger employer. Just go ahead and tell them how many you want, order them, submit them, and it'll walk you through the rest. It'll ask you your name, your organization, where do you want these mailed to? And I get my own mail to me because I work at home. So it's great. And they're quick. You'll get them. It's a really great resource. Okay. Can you confirm who is listed? Okay,
I
I'm
got
gonna
it.
let
I
you
got
take
it.
that one, Larry.
I got it. I got it.
Um, Larry, for the existing My PEB account, do we need to register to benefits 24/7 again, or will the existing My account transfer? You will need to, I'm not Larry, but I'll answer it. You do, sorry, you do need to re-register once you get to the benefits 24/7 login. Okay, so again, if you're a BA who was using it as an employee, you would use your SAW account signed up with your personal email. If you're accessing it as a BA, then you're going to use your work email. Okay, my PEB account, I guess. I don't know exactly what that means. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let you deal with that, Larry. What if they have two last names with a space rather than a hyphen? Okay, this was one that was asked yesterday at my webinar. So if what I meant by the spaces is just make sure there's no space before the last name or first name or after the first name or last name. Lots of last names and maybe sometimes first names could have a space without a hyphen, right? In the middle. That's no biggie. That it'll identify it, but it's really going to be their last name anyway that they're putting in. And if they put it in, it's got to be exactly the way you do it. If there's a space, then they need to key it in with a space. If you put a dash, then they're going to need to put it in with a dash. Okay, thank you, thank you. If an employee makes changes to their account, is the only way I, as the BA, will see these changes is if I go look. We won't get any other notification that they made changes. Correct. So remember, if you have an employee who's newly eligible and you set them up with eligibility in the system, if they don't make any changes, it's going to automatically default on day 32. You will not have to do anything about that. The only time you're going to need to see or do anything for their account is if they are adding dependents, because then they need to have their dependent verification reviewed and verified by you. Or say mid-year, they're making changes due to an SOE, then yes, again, you would have to check that tile if they're doing it, because that's the only way that you would know, right? So yeah, anybody else who's just not, they're just adding themselves, there really isn't anything you need to know. And I know this question comes up. Yes, there is, Debbie. There is something we need to know. We need to know what they selected so that in case they have a deduction from their payroll, there will be reports that you will be able to print that will give you that information. Okay, and those are going to be on the reports tile. So I just kind of want to get through some of these others. Okay. Yeah, you're going to, okay. Will Paula? Okay, no biggie. How can I find out if I have been added to the system? Our security person is out on leave. So, Larry, I think
I'm
that
working on it.
Larry's trying to work on these for you guys. So we're going to stay here and like anybody who's asking specifically, but I do want to say a general question, okay? If after this webinar, you, you didn't ask that question or you want to ask the question, you can, Larry and I will work on them if you wanted to send them to us. But if you want to send that same question in through the HCA support portal as a ticket, we will get those and we can look. The other one is if you feel confident that you probably are, but you're just doing this double check, say on go live date, you'll know whether you're in there or not, right? Based on when you try to log in. And then those logging in troubleshooting things that we gave you to work with your security person is going to be the person you can ask. If you're somebody who's only going to have edit or read access, they can add you. But if you need admin access, then your security person has to submit those to us. Okay. How do we do Do we do anything different for retirees? Retirees, no, I don't really know exactly what you mean by that question. They would be able to apply for retiree coverage in the benefits 24/7. I don't know what you do for retirees currently, so I don't completely know how to answer that question. If you want to send in another question with more specificity, then I will try to answer that. Can you show how to do Gov delivery again? Yes, I'm sorry. Sometimes I go pretty fast. Back from the PEBB website, right? Once you're here, you go into the bottom, you go scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page in that blue navigation bar under the notices and updates. Here, right here, that big blue box, register for Gov delivery. Again, use your work email. And then when you're inside the application, make sure you check on the box that says employer group so that you get the employer group updates. Are employees able to update addresses via benefits 24/7? No. And when they go to their profile, when they log in, it'll have their profile. They will try to do that, I would imagine, and it's going to all be grayed out. They won't have access to that, but there will be a note there that tells them if any of this information is not correct, please refer to contact your benefits administrator, payroll, HR office, and to let them know. So just know that we are doing that. Where to go for new enrollment guides. Enrollment guides are, again, if you want them in hard copy, right? So here's the PEB Benefits Administrator website. You can order them under the forms and publications. That's at the very bottom of that page. And then once you're inside there, you can order materials. Once it brings you, oh, I got to abandon that last one. That won't come up for you, just so you know. Over here, this is like really old school menu thing here, but just your PEB. So you're going to click on employees because you want employee forms. Then it's going to get you right here to the guides, right? And that's where you can say, yes, I would like to order. And then how many do you want? And then the next screen, when you add them to your cart, it's going to ask for your name, organization, where do you want to email to, and just complete the process, just like from Amazon, right? Very similar. And they will mail them to that address. As far as if you want to see them, let's see. If you want to go here to that same forms and publications and you want to go just look at it online, down here under employees and dependents, you're going to see the enrollment guide, right? So you're going to click that little caret there and it's going to say employee enrollment guide and you're going to click on 2024. I would save this somewhere because it's a nice reference and a summarized format that you can see. So, and it does, like I said, it does have instructions in the book this year for how to use benefits 24/7. I think it's right up here, right here. So it's got some nice instructions for them, right? That's kind of built in. So there you go. I hope that helped. Can you, okay, yes, I think hopefully Jennifer, there you go. Hopefully that will help you with that answer, the enrollment guides. Is PERS Pay the same as PEBBA website and will this continue? PERS Pay is the same as the PEBBA website and that will remain the same, yes. So, I don't type in PERS Pay every time. You can see I have a favorite up here, but that is how I got to it. So what this person is saying is, I don't know how maybe to get to, maybe I'm somewhere else. Maybe I am, I don't know, somewhere. This isn't the page though. I'm going to just do this. Okay, how do I get to the PEBBA website? You would type in PERS Pay up here in your search because PERS Pay is short for personnel and payroll, no spaces. When you click on it, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of stuff, right? It's this one you want under the Washington State Healthcare Authority, PEB Benefits Administrators. Click on that and it's going to take you there and then go favorite it. That's what I would recommend. And it will be the same. Yeah, it won't change. And it looks like, let's see, do I have any more questions? When retirees apply for coverage, are they to contact HCA themselves or the BAs? Currently, they contact HCA and coordinate with DRS to enroll within the time frame and whether they are enrolled in Medicare. Okay, so as a BA, you're probably going to know when some of your employees are retiring, right? So you could do some due diligence and you could let them know some things. You could let them know that, hey, yes, there are some retiree things, but the first thing, this is great. I could just kind of advertise this because you asked the question. Again, from the PEBBA website. Well, no, not the PEBBA one. This is your employee website right here. And I guess, sorry, just bear with me because I'm trying to speak this correctly. Okay, your employee website from the BA website is going to be under PEB benefits. Click here for PEB benefits. Oh, I guess. And then it's going to take you right here. Visit the employee website. And then, oh, shoot. No, I guess I'm not directing you very well. It really needs to be this one right here, the employee. How do you get to it from there? Larry, will you help me out here? I feel like I'm going to lose the audience because I'm speaking too much and I'm getting to the wrong place. They need to get to the employee website first.
What are you looking for again?
For retirees, just to try to take them back to the retiree site.
Yeah, so up the top there where it says employee retiree benefits, the very top.
Right here.
Up. Yeah, you can go there too.
Oh,
Or you
right
go up top.
here.
Yeah.
From the main. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I confuse this sometimes. Then go down to retirees. And then where, oh, see, this is not where I go in, but I feel like it should be easier. How do we get them to that page where they can like sign up for a webinar? So this is okay.
See that one
I'm
I tell you
just
how to enroll? Down, 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 left, 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 up, 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 up,
how to
up,
enroll right here.
down one.
Right there. Wow. So sorry, everyone, that I did that. So like Larry said, you go out to the main HCA or um, the website that you're on. When you click up here at the very top where it says employee and retirees, then you're going to click on retirees only, and then it's going to be how do I enroll? Attend a retirement webinar. And here's what we like to say, tell your employees to go out here because we host at least every other month a retiree webinar, and they should be looking at this at least a year before they retire to explain what's available to them and how they become eligible. So a new feature that's going to be available to them, it used to be that like when they were retiring, they would like attend this webinar and then we would give them forms and then they had the PEBMI account to make changes like during open enrollment, pretty confusing. But now they're going to be able to do it through their benefits 24/7 employee side. So really, if I was in your shoes, which I used to be at an agency, I would tell them, hey, yes, you have potential ability to enroll in PEB retiree insurance, but go out to this website, register for a webinar, and they're going to tell you everything you need to know. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I'm sure I lost everyone through some of that. Will there be a video on how to enroll in benefits 24/7 when we share with new employees or use during new employee orientation? Okay, so that's a really great question because we've asked it. And currently the answer is no. HCA's role is not to do that for the employees. I do know that some organizations are developing those for themselves and they are putting it somewhere on their intranet and they're giving them to their employees. I will say this though, we are getting a lot of requests for that and it's understandable. So if you want that, please submit that through an HCA support ticket where you can say it's related to benefits 24/7 and you want to make a training request. You have to put it there. We cannot market that, but if they get enough requests for at least some initial training or a way to help you get used to that, we potentially would be able to do that. But Larry and I cannot make that decision on our own. Okay. Is it true that retirees will lose coverage if their former employer no longer participates in PEB? That's a retiree thing, and we probably aren't going to address that here in this webinar. Sorry. How can I find out if you've been
Well,
added? Larry, go ahead, Larry.
yeah, sorry. So the answer is maybe.
Yeah, that's why I
remember,
didn't want to.
remember,
Yeah,
remember that thing where like, if the employer doesn't participate in retiree coverage through their new carrier, they
yeah.
can continue ours, but the cost is so great.
Hmm.
So yes, they can, but it only depends on the situation. So it'll be something to talk about,
Yeah,
offline.
yeah. Thanks, Larry. And I'm sorry, I didn't really want to get into the major details, but yeah, that there's potential for that. Okay. Okay, then we just need somebody else to be confirmed that they are covered. So it looks like all of the questions that are remaining are just people want us to confirm whether they are in the system or not. And we will go ahead and stay on the line. But if you don't have any more questions about, the actual launch date or any concerns you have, then we are saying that thank you so much for attending today. And we're going to give you back some time.